People of the world, what's going on? I'm here with another message. How everybody doing? I'm hoping everybody blessed, staying blessed, and having a good one. Yeah, we want to talk about why we settle. Yeah, let's talk about it. Why we settle. Well, a lot of times we settle because we have a reason and we had a purpose. You know, we had a reason and we had a purpose for why we settled for what we settled for and why we got ourselves in a situation that we went in and why we accepted what we accepted. Sometimes we could settle for a job that we didn't want it. Sometimes we could settle for a relationship that we didn't want it. We might settle for a car we didn't want. We might settle for a house we didn't want. I don't know. It's a lot of different reasons why we settle. Everybody got their own ways and reasons and why they settle for this and that. But I can only speak for the outcome of the situation. I can't speak for everybody's situation, but maybe I can relate. And we'll never figure it out, because a lot of times we won't know the ending. Sometimes you can, and sometimes you do know the ending, but we just might stick ourselves in it anyways, just to figure it out or find out what it's about, or just settle because it's working in our favor at that time. That's why we accepted what we accepted. We might accept something that works for us, and then in the long run, it's not meeting up with what we wanted. Yeah, maybe we went in with a motive, or maybe we might have went in thinking that it was going to be good for us at that time. And then when it all comes out and that's not what you wanted, it's okay. It's okay to be like that. It's okay to feel like you don't have to settle. We don't have to. We shouldn't settle for less either. God doesn't want us to settle for less. He wants us to be happy. You should want to be okay with what you got and what you settled for and accept it. But if it's something that's not meeting up with how you feel and what moves you, and if you're not comfortable in the situation that you're in, then it's okay to remove yourself and get and be where you need to be. Sometimes we think about it too late after the damage been done. We'll be like, you know what? I should have did it. I don't know why I did. I should have went that way, or I should have made a different move. After the damage been done, we sometimes accept how we settle, or we settle how we accept. You understand what I'm saying now? It happens. We human. It's all about, it's under choices. You got to understand the choices we make. You understand what I'm saying? That's the most important thing about settling. The choices we make. A lot of people move off being too desperate. Instead of patient, like being patient and wait to see what the better outcome would be. Moving off of vulnerability. Yeah, we human. Remember? So the things we settle for and we realize that this ain't what we want and we want different, then we got to understand why we went in it in the first place. Was it helpful or was it a selfish move? Was it for you, something you wanted and you thought that you was going to get something out of the deal and it didn't work out in your favor? Sometimes it happens like that, yeah. Or we might settle and get married with this person, and then to come to find out this ain't the person we were supposed to marry, or we weren't supposed to be with or have kids with. I do believe in things happening for a reason. I believe in that. I do. Like it say in the Bible, and our life was already written before we even got here. So all we doing is just going through the trials and tribulation, just to understand, to get a better understanding. So we don't know what the future holds. And whatever we did and is behind us, that's why it's called a past. So we need to focus and worry about the now. Because you can't control later on. A lot of times that's what it be. We be getting in ourselves in a situation and we thinking that, it's going to end up how it's going to end up like this later. No. Jumping ahead, moving too fast. No. Sometimes you need to fall back and take your time. And be careful on the decisions that we make out here. So we won't have to settle. And let the settle be a lesson learned. Yeah, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Let it be a lesson learned. Don't regret. No, have no regrets. Learn from it. That's how you get better. So that way you won't have to settle for the next move that you make. You'll make a better choice now. That's our problem. We moving too fast, world. That's why we settle for the things that we think is good for us at that moment, and then turn out being a slap in the face or something that we didn't really want. But we went in and thinking that it was going to work out in our favor, and a lot of times that don't happen like that. Again, it just falls back on the decision we made. That's all it be. It's just decisions. And patient. That's all. Easy. Patience. Think about it before you make moves. You need to think things out. What's going to work out for you? That's how you worry about the future. How is it going to work out for you? How the outcome going to be? Not just jump right in it, and then when you get in it, now you realize, okay, damn, you know what? I'm at I need to get out of here. This is not for me. No. We should have thought about that before we stuck our neck and our head in it. So we learn from our mistakes when we settle. You got to be a little more careful, world. It's real easy. And I'm going to say it again. Patience. That's our problem. We don't want to wait. Ain't nothing to move fast for. Take your time. And make smart decisions. That's going to work out in your favor. And don't be selfish. Because it can come back and bite you later for being selfish. I just came by to have a little talk with y'all, It ain't going to be too long. Just had to come by and just sum up a little talk with y'all again. And, let's keep it going. Let's rotate. I would like for y'all to go ahead and subscribe, send the messages off, like. Remember, the decisions, that's why we settle. Peace out. I hope this taught you a lesson. Much love. Peace out.